Alright, so this video is extremely important to watch before spending your 200,000 RELLCoins and 1.1 thousand spins of Shindo Life. I'm gonna tell you about the do's and don'ts when it comes to actually spending your RELLCoins and why you might actually be better off just not buying the best buttons in the game yet. So if you guys enjoyed this video, remember to like and subscribe. Let's get right to the video, guys. Alright, so starting off the video with the #1 reason why you probably, you should be informed of this before you actually spend your RELLCoins. The bloodline that you will buy might get nerfed in the next week, or they might actually get nerfed the update of, and you won't know. So my suggestion is to actually pay attention to the balance notes of this update. They might not post some of the balance notes to the Trello, but be sure to pay attention to the stuff they do. Be sure to ask people around, because the things like Strange, things like the Bankai, things like Red Goku, or even Diva Ren, a lot of these things might actually get nerfed. So it just depends on whether you're fine with the nerf, whether the nerf doesn't really matter to you that much, and if you actually still want to spend your RELLCoins on it. Because first of all, Strange will cost basically the entire code for you, legitimately the entire code. So I just want, like, it's very important that you guys pay attention. Make sure to follow what gets nerfed and buffed, because the bloodline that you buy might already be nerfed or might be getting nerfed soon. So be sure to keep that in mind when you actually buy the bloodline, because you will be stuck with this bloodline in, like, basically, it's like a type of free bloodline bag. If you buy it, you can equip it. So you will be stuck with this bloodline. So it's an extremely important purchase, because this would be the bloodline that you're able to re-equip over and over again. And it's mostly going to be the bloodline that you're actually going to be using quite a bit in the game. So be sure to pay attention to the balance notes. Be sure to make sure whether it was nerfed or not. And make sure to, pay attention to, the balance within the game itself. Like, for example, Strange. Strange most likely will be getting nerfed eventually if it isn't this update. So if you're going to be buying Strange, you do have to keep that in mind. But if you're fine with, having temporary OP, like if you want to be temporarily, a god within the game, go ahead, get Strange. You'll be good for like a couple weeks. Like, Strange is insanely busted, so it's kind of a worthwhile purchase. Now, some of the safe bloodlines that I would say that you're kind of really safe getting is stuff like Bankai, which probably isn't going to be getting touched. Red Goku probably isn't going to be getting touched. Diva Ren might get a small nerf. I'm not actually 100% on that. So if you see bloodlines that haven't gotten touched in a very long time, they might actually be a safer choice than these newer bloodlines that may actually be more overpowered. If you guys really want that RELLCoin code, remember to smash the like button on this video, subscribe, and maybe, just maybe, RELLGames would do it a little bit sooner than usual. Now, the second reason is that the new bloodlines are going to be coming out, and most likely, more than not, they will be limited. So if you're not able to actually spin these bloodlines, this goes for your spins and RELLCoins. If you're not actually able to spin the bloodline because you already spent all your spins, then obviously you're not going to be able to, get these new bloodlines. Now, what I kind of do to ration my spins and stuff like that is I look at the rarity and I ask myself if it's worth it or not. Is this bloodline good enough? If the bloodline is, good enough, then you can just go ahead and buy it with RELLCoins, because then you can equip it whenever you want. If you don't think it's good enough, but you still want to test it out, then it might be worth spinning more than actually spending your RELLCoins. Because, like I said, buying it with your RELLCoins is an extremely important decision, because that will be the bloodline that you're able to equip over and over again. So this is extremely important for free-to-play players, and I know that there are a lot of free-to-play players that actually play Shindo Life. So it's extremely important to pick a bloodline that probably isn't going to be getting changed, and a bloodline that's pretty good overall, because that will be the bloodline that you actually equip over and over again. But yeah, back to my point, there will be new bloodlines coming out. Now, they actually, they took a month off from making new bloodlines, which is fine, but they will start releasing new bloodlines to the game. Now, these new bloodlines to the game might end up being super broken or super trash. No one knows until they're actually released. So I would just like to, say, maybe it's better off if you saving your RELLCoins, because the RELLCoins are not going to be going anywhere. They will always stay in your inventory. The prices probably won't rise, and you might just be better off saving. Like, if you're fine, just keep your RELLCoins in your, in your pouch for like a week or two. You might actually just be better off not spending it at all. It just all depends on what you want within the game. If you want temporary, you want to be temporarily, insanely powerful, get something like Strange. If you want just a pretty good average bloodline, because you can never seem to spin a good average bloodline, get something like Bankai. But yeah, just be sure to keep in mind that these new bloodlines coming out should and will influence your decision whether or not to spend your RELLCoins, because the new bloodlines coming out will actually take all of your RELLCoins as well. Which leads me on to my next point. Be sure to pay attention to prices, because you may actually be able to get 2 bloodlines with the same amount of RELLCoins that it took you to buy a single one. Be sure to pay attention to the prices. You may actually be better off getting 2 worse bloodlines that are actually different from one another, because then you could always fall back on them if you actually use your spins and end up with like trash. You can always fall back on those, you know, 2 okay bloodlines. I do also think that this is an insanely important reason that a lot of free-to-play players should also consider, because if you actually, you know, want to get the most out of your RELLCoin code, you're actually better off getting 2 bloodlines that are slightly worse than, you know, the best bloodlines in the game. Because I'm gonna be frank with you, 150,000 RELLCoins is a lot to dish out for a bloodline, considering those bloodlines that are worth like 75 to 90. You could get 2 bloodlines for the price of basically getting 1 bloodline. So it's all up to what, you know, what you want from the game, but I do recommend that you check out the prices. Maybe, just maybe, it will be a little bit better to actually get 2 bloodlines that are worse, just so you have more versatility in your kit, just so you always have options, because you will be stuck with that 1 bloodline. So just keep the prices in mind when you're actually buying it. Now, number 3. Now, this one I'm not going to talk that much about because it's not really, you know, important that much. Drip costs a lot. By the way, the prices were 2.5. Drip costs a lot within this game. By a lot, I mean genuinely a lot. Like, some cloaks cost like 60,000 RELLCoins. That's almost as much as the bloodline. If you want to get dripped out, your best decision is to get a free Haori. There's a bunch of free ones. Get some nice clothes from the Roblox clothing store. Get a nice face and use that to drip out your character. Because then you're only spending, what, like 40, 50,000 RELLCoins total, as long as, you know, don't mess it up. And with that money that you saved, you're actually able to get bloodlines. So just be aware that sometimes the drip is not worth it unless you want to get super dripped out. You don't care about getting, you know, bloodlines or whatever. Some people already have all the bloodlines. Then go for it. Drip's cool. But in the end of things, just watch out. Do not spend it on drip if you actually, you know, don't have the extra money to do so. Now, number 4, this should be pretty obvious, but RELLCoins is insanely hard to get out of combos. RELLCoins is literally one of the hardest things in the game to get outside of code. So just keep that in mind when you're actually using your RELLCoins, that you're basically spending something that you will probably never get again until the next RELLCoin code. So just keep that in mind. The new RELLCoin code, the codes are usually the way that everyone gets it, including me. That's how I get my RELLCoins too. I have like 500, I have max RELLCoins because I don't spend them at all. But they are insanely hard to get out of codes. Now, what I mean by this is that the game modes barely give any RELLCoins. They buffed it like 5 times now, and it's still abysmal. Like, they always say they buff it by like, oh, we buffed it by 25 times. Like, bruh, was this giving me 1 RELLCoin before? Because now it's giving me 25. Is that what 25 times means? You know what I mean? They give absolute terrible RELLCoins. Like, you spend about, like, I would say an Arena X match usually lasts about 10 to 20 minutes. So 10 to 20 minutes of, you know, doing that, you get a total of like 150, 200 RELLCoins. Congratulations. 20 minutes of your life and you get like literal 1/100th of a bloodline. I just wanted to say that too. Just keep in mind that RELLCoin is insanely hard to get, so you should, you know, think about your decision a little bit more before you go like, I'm gonna buy Strange now. Now, the 5th reason is actually going to be more about your spins than the RELLCoin code. There are not very many good spinnable bloodlines that are not rare. You might get lucky, you might get something like Akuma or Senko, but actually the chance of you getting those is very, very low. Like, you might end up getting it from 1,100 spins, but is that really worth it? Is it really worth to use all your spins to get Akuma or Senko? Probably not. My best bet is you want to wait for an update where you really, really like the new bloodline, or you wait for an update that actually makes more of the limiteds available, because, you know, spins are extremely sacred. So if you only have 500 spin cap, which I'm guessing a lot of people do not have the spin storage, spend 600 of the spins during the update, save the 500 for the next one, so you actually have a chance of getting the next bloodline. That's kind of going to be the best decision for you, honestly, because I'm going to be frank with you, Ragnar is not going to be worth spending all of your spins. Spend 600, see if you get it. If you get it, cool, you know, or if you get something like Doku, cool, man. Congratulations, you actually got something good. If you don't get something good, it's not a waste, because, you know, they're just extra spins and all that stuff. So, you know, my personal, you know, I'm telling you, your best bet, spend 600 spins, save the other 500, and when you save the other 500, use it next update, and then you even have the next code to use for that update. Just keep in mind that spins are also decently hard to get. They're a lot easier to get than RELLCoins. You know, it's pretty easy to farm spins if you just farm, you know, ranks, like max level rank and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind, that you should probably save your spins, at least 500 of them. And coming in number 6 is going to be, do not rank up with RELLCoins. It is a waste of your RELLCoins. I know that a lot of people are probably going to do this. Don't do it. Don't use your RELLCoins. You are like, it's basically sort of thing where you're saving time to rank up. But getting from 1 to level 1000 when you have like, you know, people like just get some people to help grind bosses with you takes like an hour. So you're equating an hour of your time to 50,000 RELLCoins. Just so you know, 50,000 RELLCoins probably takes a person about a month to get. So in the span of wanting to spend, you know, wanting to save an hour, you basically just spent a month worth of RELLCoins. Do not do it. Save your RELLCoins, not for ranking up, literally anything besides ranking up. And if you're that desperate to rank up, then just go ask some people for help, man. Why you gotta spend RELLCoins to do it? Anyways, guys, that's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, remember to like, subscribe, host, you guys. Bye-bye.